everybody, and welcome back to Real Estate Matters. I am Devine, your host and local realtor. This show is all about breaking down the real estate world in a way that actually makes sense. So whether you're house hunting, thinking of selling, or just curious about the real estate market, you are in the right place. Today, we are diving into a hot topic, or should I say, a seasonal topic. When is the best time to buy a home? Should you be house hunting in the warmth of summer, the bloom of spring, or even the quiet winter? Let's talk about the pros and cons of buying in each season so that you can make the smartest move for your goals. And if you stick around until the end, I will share a few insider tips on how to navigate your timing no matter the season. So let's start with spring. The most popular time to buy, as flowers are blooming and listings are popping up, and it feels like the entire market wakes up after a sleepy winter. Spring is like the grand reopening of the real estate world. The pros of purchasing in spring is that there are more inventory, which means you likely have the largest pool of homes to choose from. Homes often look their best with fresh landscaping, natural light, and great curb appeal. In the spring, sellers are motivated to close deals before the summer vacation begins, and it's easier to inspect the roof, foundation, and the yard without snow being in the way. However, the cons of buying in spring is that there's usually more competition from buyers, especially first-timers entering the market. There's also room for potential bidding wars, which can drive up prices. And you may feel pressure to act quickly, which can be stressful. A great tip is to get pre-approved for a mortgage before spring hits and have your team in place, such as inspectors, agents, lawyers, and real estate agents. So that way you are ready to jump on the right home as soon as it hits the market. So next up is summer. While spring is exciting, summer offers flexibility, especially for families and educators who have a bit more time to move. Pros of the summer is that there's excellent weather for moving and attending open houses. School breaks also make it easier for families with kids to transition without disrupting the school year. You might also catch sellers who didn't get the offers in spring and are now more open to negotiating. The cons of buying in the summer is that listings start to dwindle down between mid to late summer. Some professionals involved in the process, like lawyers, agents, and inspectors, might be on vacation. Prices can still be very high from the spring surge. If you're buying in the summer, make sure to stay cool both literally and figuratively. Make sure the AC works in the home that you're buying, and don't just overpay just because it's hot out and you're feeling rushed. Now let's talk fall, the hidden gem of the buying season. The leaves change, the weather cools down, and the market gets a little bit quieter. The pros of buying in the fall is there's less competition, meaning fewer bidding wars. And sellers who didn't sell in the summer or spring may be open to negotiating. Contractors and inspectors also generally back from vacation and might be more available than they are in the spring. And in the fall, you can often close before the winter holiday or the end of year rush. Cons of fall is that there are fewer homes, so choices may be limited. Shorter days, which means there are fewer showing hours and potentially less natural light. Some sellers might pull their listings off the market to relist in the spring. A good tip is to take advantage of motivated sellers and get inspections done properly. Fall market rewards preparedness. And finally, winter. Most people think winter is the dead time for real estate, but that's not entirely true. Yes, it slows down, but it also offers some unique opportunities for smart buyers. The pros of winter is that there's serious sellers, and homes on the market during the winter usually have to sell. There's less buyer competition, which gives you leverage. And there may be room for negotiating on the price, the closing date, and conditions. The cost of buying in the winter is that there's limited inventory, and weather can delay showings, inspections, and even the closing date. And it's also hard to evaluate the property's exterior, such as the landscaping and the outdoor features, due to snow. In the winter, be flexible with scheduling and dress for the weather. A little snow shouldn't stop you from scoring a deal. So now that you know the pros and cons of each season, here are a few tips to help you no matter when you buy. First, know your why. Is this an investment property, a starter home, or is it a forever home? Your goal will influence the best season for you to purchase. Secondly, partner with the right agent, someone who understands your timing and your local market and budget. Thirdly, don't try to time the market perfectly. the best time to buy is when you are financially and emotionally ready. So when it's the best season to buy a home? Honestly, the best time is when you're ready. Each season has its own benefits, and with the right strategy and guidance, you can win in any market. So all right, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be dropping new episodes regularly. So if you want to stay on top of the Halifax market and get some real estate advice, make sure to follow, like, and share. And do you have questions or want us to cover a certain topic? Make sure to send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. So see you next time on Real Estate Matters. And remember, when it comes to real estate, it all matters.